right, it is 7 minutes past 9 o'clock. Don't worry, we are just right in time for the latest happening across the country and beyond our borders. This is the 21st day of October, the year 2025, and the country continued to mourn, of course, the untimely demise of one of the most decorated politician of our time. Now, for decades, he has been a mainstay in Kenya's political establishment. He has been hailed as the finest politician and a leader of our time, the kingmaker who suddenly never became a king, but beneath his feet, many political careers were birthed and saved, from presidents to members of parliament. But what does a Kenya without Raila Odinga looks like? Well, Eston Maina, a political analyst, will be here to try to make sense to that $1 billion question as the country continue to mourn one of the most decorated sons of the soil, perhaps one of his kind in the generations to come. And that is the discussion. And of course, today in our State of the Nation, all eyes will be pointing at life after Raila. But first thing first, our top stories tonight.
The beginning of the end. 2025 KCSE exams kicks off officially today, with over 900,000 students set to sit for the exams. Outrage over cybercrime law. Trans Nzoia Governor and Martha Karua mounts pressure on Ruto to recall cybercrime law amidst calls for protest. Also tonight, strengthening diplomatic ties. Kenya and Senegal visa waiver to allow its citizens to travel for visa-free up to 90 days. The forgotten hero. Family of the late Olympic champion cries for help to settle medical pending bills.
This is Kutv Primetime News with Auma.
All right, tonight I'm not alone. I'm in full backup of Naomi Omboi as our sign language interpreter tonight. Remember, you can follow us on all our social media platforms. We are coming to you live on YouTube at KUTV News Live. You can tweet us on X at KUTV_Kenya. The hashtag to use, State of the Nation. So tonight we begin with the latest in matters education. Now, the 2025 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, or if you prefer the acronym KCSE, officially kicked off today under tight supervision by the Kenya National Examinations Council. And even as the candidates begin their final stretch in secondary school, this marks the second year since the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education KCPE was completely phased out following the full adoption of the competence-based curriculum that replaced KCPE to KPSEA.
The long-awaited 2025 KCSE examinations have officially begun across the country. According to the Kenya National Examinations Council, practical and oral papers started today, with written papers set to commence on the 3rd of November and run until the 21st. Over 800,000 candidates are expected to sit for this year's exam under heightened security and monitoring to ensure credibility and fairness. While KCSE continues to mark a key milestone in Kenya's education calendar, the once familiar Kenya Certificate of Primary Education remains only in history books. The KCPE, which was last conducted in 2023, officially came to an end as the country transitioned from the 844 system to the competency-based curriculum. Under the new structure, learners in grade 6 now sit for the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment (KPSEA) before joining junior secondary school. The change was introduced to emphasize continuous assessment and learner skills rather than one-off national exams that determined a pupil's entire academic path. 2 years since the last KCPE, schools and parents are still adjusting to the new system, with education stakeholders expressing optimism that CBC will produce more skilled and creative learners ready for modern challenges. As KCSE candidates put pen to paper this examination season, it's a clear reminder of Kenya's evolving education landscape, where one era ends and another takes shape. Rose Kaguku, KUTV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Rose, for that comprehensive reporting. And now to matters diplomatic ties. President William Ruto today received Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye and Mozambique's Prime Minister Maria Ben Levy at State House, Nairobi. During the meeting, Kenya and Senegal inked multiple bilateral ties to deepen their diplomatic ties, including visa waiver deal that will see citizens of these two nations travel visa-free up to 90 days. The two leaders were accorded an official welcome as part of their state visit, marking a continuation of high-level engagement following the national celebrations. The visits highlights Kenya's growing diplomatic connections across the continent, with both leaders holding courtesy meetings with President William Ruto at State House, Nairobi.
His Excellency President Faye and I reviewed a broad range of bilateral, regional, and continental matters. We reaffirmed our joint commitment to closer collaboration in trade, peace, and security. Our collaboration in these sectors aims to not only enhance prosperity, but also to promote sustainable development between our two nations. We recognize the foundations that already exist between our two nations and are pleased to announce the conclusion of a new visa waiver arrangement that will allow citizens of both countries visa-free travel for up to 90 days.
Senegal is willing to work together with Kenya for better taking into account Africa's priorities at national, continental, and international levels.
Now let's switch gears to matters education. Now the Nandi County Commissioner Caroline Zwile issued a stern warning to those planning to perpetrate fraud and other malpractices during the national examinations exercise. The Nandi County Commissioner assured Kenyans that security officers are vigilant to ensure that there will be no form of exam cheating during the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE exams, KPSEA, and the KPJSEA exams. Meanwhile, Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya has criticized the national government for signing into law the controversial Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Amendment Act, which was enacted on October 15, 2025. Natembeya claims that this law undermines constitutional freedom of speech, stating that it contradicts the legacy of freedom of speech fought by the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga.
Raila juzi wameka into law sheria ambayo vijana wetu. Hatuwezi andika kitu kwa mtandao. Mimi natukana kila siku kwa mitandao, nimekufa. The freedom of speech The freedom of expression is in our constitution. Tuko na wabunge wana bungeni wanapitia sheria ambazo za draconian laws. Sasa wewe andika kitu unatetemeka, lazima utafute jina ya uongo weke pale ndio zenu mtafanya makosa. Why can we allow our people to express themselves freely? If we love Raila, the freedom fighter, the man who was dedicated the welfare of our people, we cannot speak from both sides of our mouths. We cannot. When you see Raila ni mzuri na ile madila alikuwa anasimamia mnaanza kuikandamiza hata kabla hajazikwa. Itakuwaje?
All right, that story takes us to our very first break here on the State of the Nation. Remember, when you come back, it's all about the State of the Nation, and this time around, we are paying a special emphasis on the life after former ODM party leader Raila Odinga. A statesman and a politician and a leader who has been hailed as one of the most decorated politicians of our time. But beneath the names and, of course, the swag and the statesmanship, what lies next after his untimely demise? That is the discussion that we'll be having later on, and of course you're taking a very short break. We'll be back with that discussion.
Miti miti, panda panda. Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
Wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari ng'ari.
Mimi ni mwanamke mwake mwake.
Kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake mwake, nami Caroline Kimwele.
In a world where uncertainty rules and opportunities are scarce, it's time to break from the barrier and unlock your full potential.
We must live within our means. We cannot spend money that we don't have.
We will explore the fascinating world of investment, trade secrets, business strategies and entrepreneurship.
Sasa challenges ziko mingi sana. Parking ya mzigo imekuwa mbaya. Unaweka pesa yako inakataa kurudi.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, what you covered with invaluable insights to help you succeed.
Now, this year we have seen a rebound in the economy, which is well above the global average of the 3%.
Join me, Anyango Sylvia, every Sunday and Monday on KUTV News at 9, and let's turn your dreams into reality.
Msimu mpya, uso mpya, nguvu mpya, bila shaka na ari mpya. Lakini dhamira ni ile ile. Kuboresha kilimo kwa maisha bora. Jiunge nami James Baraka na hodha wako mpya wa kipindi cha Boresha Kilimo, tunapochunguza mbinu za kisasa za kilimo, ukipenda teknolojia ibuka katika kilimo, maoni ya wataalamu na hadithi za mafanikio kutoka kila pembe ya taifa. Kutoka kwa wakulima wadogo hadi biashara za kilimo zilizostawi, tunakuvika maarifa na suluhisho kamili, si tu za kuongeza mazao yako, bali pia kuimarisha maisha yako. Kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 na Jumanne saa 4 asubuhi, usipitwe na baraka za Boresha Kilimo, nami James Baraka, hapa hapa KUTV.
Are you ready to take charge of your health? Welcome to Focus on Health, your weekly guide to staying informed and living better. Join me every week as I sit down with trusted medical experts.
Gynecology is basically a field concerned with male female genitalia.
Explore real-life stories
during when the patient come in,
and bring you updates and tips that are beneficial to your health. Because health isn't just important, it is everything. Tune in to Focus on Health every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on KUTV. I'm your host, Kandia Marian, and I'll see you then.
Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being. Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses, and we wait until we get a disease, and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are hereditary factors that means it could be genetic, so that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins, such as folate, have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
Panda. Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
2, 3, keep on going. 4, 5, 6, keep on going. 7, go for 8. Give me 9. 10 more to go. 10, 9, good job. 8, low. Squat, low. The rest, take it all the way up. Here we go, unity.
So my name is Petri. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuweni. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari-ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimwele.
Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being. Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses and we wait until we get a disease and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are hereditary factors that could be, that means it could be genetic, so that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins, such as folate, have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
All right, welcome back. This is the State of the Nation, and thank you for keeping it with the State of the Nation. And now the discussion about the life after Raila. He's one of the most decorated politicians of our time, a kingmaker who never became a king, and beneath his feet he has made many politicians, members of parliament, all the way from the members of parliament to presidents. And this is a man whose exit from political scene is something that, you know, will create a lot of what many political analysts call the death of many politicians. And of course, that is just assumption from some of the pundits. But beneath that lies a great story of a man who had shaped the Kenyan politics since from the early 90s, 1992s, all the way to 2025. And he has fought for, the freedom, the second liberation of the country, and of course, many spheres of, economic development. When you talk about the freedom of speech that we enjoy, the 2010 Constitution as one of the architects. And those are just some of the things that Raila Odinga will be remembered for. And of course, to help me unpack this discussion is Eston Maina, a political analyst. Asante sana for making time.
Thank you for having me, Evans.
All right. This discussion about life after Raila Odinga comes at a very unprecedented times. The exit of a man who has been a mainstay in Kenyan politics. First of all, what are some of your reflections about Raila Odinga's leadership style as a politician, first of all, and of course, as a leader?
I think what I learned the most from Raila is that, politics is just like any other business. Mm-hmm. You don't put politics to heart. And Baba was a very forgiving man, because from one moment you would see him shortchanged in elections. Mm-hmm. The next moment you will see him, for the good of Kenyans, maybe sitting with the same people who shortchanged him for the good of the country. And sometimes we as leaders fail to transcend these small divisions for the betterment of the country. So that is something I hold, dear as an upcoming leader. And I'm also trying to walk in his shoes, because I think most of the times you see young leaders try to even pick on one of their own. Mm-hmm. Because many a times when we say we are the leaders of today, not tomorrow, but we are the enemies of our own self. Mm-hmm. But Baba was able to, put his own personal ambitions behind him, put all the political differences aside, and say, you know what, I think for the good of Kenya, let's work together. And I think Baba is one of the most, let me say, under-celebrated. Arguably, he was the most celebrated on his death, but I feel like Kenyans really did not give Baba what was due for Baba, because to Kenyans, or to Baba, Kenyans were like, do you see that, that girlfriend that you have always tried to win over? Mm-hmm. Then every time this girlfriend tells you no, but every time you try to move on, mm-hmm. she blames you for moving on, and yet she refused to choose you. Mm-hmm. Baba has had always presented himself to Kenyans mm-hmm. to offer alternative leadership. Mm-hmm. The Kenyans failed to see the kind of leader he was. Mm-hmm. And every time now, Baba had to go back and say, how do I offer the skills I have to these Kenyans who I'm trying to offer leadership, and they're not ready to receive it? Mm-hmm. So he said, how about I try to formulate a coalition with the government of the day, and try maybe to give some of the ideas I have to the sitting government. The very same people who never voted him in would blame him or accuse him for betraying them, and yet they never voted for him. So I think sometimes Kenyans were very unfair to Baba, but gracefully he forgave, and election after election he would run to save the very same Kenyans. Mm-hmm. There's a wise man from, I think, I don't know which country in West Africa, that said, when you're fighting for Africans, you fight with one hand, because you will need the other hand to protect yourself from the very same Africans you're fighting for. And I think Baba is a testament of that. Mm-hmm. Yes.
A kingmaker who never became king. And talking about a kingmaker who never became a king, because Raila Odinga has been the focal point of yes. Kenyan politics. And with now his untimely demise and exit to the political scene, do you think Kenya will be worse off without Baba?
I think only time will tell, because I think that the seeds that Baba planted mm-hmm. are starting to show. they're showing the Gen Z revolution. And you remember one of the slogans that were, being chanted was, Baba, kaa nyumbani, you have fought for us for so long. Now let us fight for you, Baba. Because now the seeds he planted, the seeds of revolution, fighting for democracy, fighting for justice, are now in his, the grandchildren and his children. And they are now fighting. They are taking up Baba's mantle to fight for their own country. And I think there has never been a time like we have today where the young people are so informed on matters politics, because there was so much political apathy where people said, you know what, I won't vote. Either way, I don't see the need for that. But Baba was able to show them that, yes, you may say that you don't pay taxes, but guess what? The leaders you elect decide that, the prices of the unga you buy, they decide whether you go to school or not. And now when they saw those draconian laws affect, let's say the new funding model, they saw problems with SHA, they realized that actually the leadership matters. And it is important for them to know the kind of bills that are being passed, by their parliament. Right. And this political now activism is what now is helping Kenyans maybe try to fill in the shoes that Baba made, but it's going to be a hard task for Kenyans. But I think it's about time Kenyans now learned that they can stand on their own now. Baba is nowhere. He may be looking, at us from up there, but we will need to fight for ourselves now. What the man we took for granted is no more. It is now incumbent upon us to to push forward his mission, his agenda and vision for Kenya. Yes.
Now let's talk about the political dynamics in the country. This is a man who has been there for quite a long time, and many will call him stabilizer. During the time of Moi, former President Mwai Kibaki, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and now President William Ruto. When the country needed a man who can stand out there despite their political difference and try to neutralize what many will call the political tension in the country, Raila was always there. Now the man is no more. What does it say about our political establishment now moving forward? Are we probably maybe looking forward for a disaster in the near future should such occurrences happen and there is no someone to cool the temper?
Yes, I would say we are not doomed yet. There's still room for us to save ourselves, but we need to understand that absent Baba, now the political landscape is very volatile, because now we don't have that equalizer that every time things went haywire, everybody ran to Baba to save the country. Now the savior is no more. So now it's incumbent upon the leaders, the opposition, and the leaders in government to be very careful with the kind of incitement they do, because they might plunge the country into something that they might start a fire that they may not be able to put out. And I think it's upon time. It's about time we grew up politically. I think. Yes, I think the Baba's demise may be timely, because Kenyans were also we were also crying for that freedom. We want that transition from the old leadership, what we were calling the political dynasties, and sometimes we did not realize the kind of power they held or the kind of protection they gave to us. But mtoto akililia wembe mpe. Kenyans have been saying we want to self-determine, we want to lead ourselves, we want to give ourselves, direction. And that's what led the Gen Z revolution. They said we are leaderless, we are partyless. And now they're leaderless. The leader who was fighting for them is no more. So now they need to understand that the kind of words, the kind of incitement they do can do a great harm to the country or healing. So it's upon us to heal our own country. We need now to speak healing and not condemnation, because we don't have that political equalizer. We don't have the liberty to even to imagine our country being in chaos. We don't have that liberty now.
But who bears the biggest brunt of all this? Because over and over again, it has always been, when the country needed someone to save, Raila was always there.
Yes.
Now, in the event that the man is no longer there, and of course, we are still at a very volatile situation, given the fact that just last year we witnessed what happened with the Gen Z demonstrations calling for accountability, good governance, And of course, we saw a raft of measures trying to reshuffle the cabinet to accommodate what then were called the experts from the ODM party that were donated by the Raila Odinga, his party. When probably the center no longer holds, who bears the biggest brunt?
I think both the government and the people, because on the side of the government, if the people happen to be or to become ungovernable, the government will suffer. At the same time, if the government now becomes, let's say, it no longer holds, the people will suffer, because we don't want now to plunge our country into anarchy. And people always say we want to self-determine, but they do not understand the weight of it, of a country that is not governed by law. I think there was Thomas Hobbes, a famous scholar, said, human beings are, naturally brutish. We were born like innately like animals. What makes us human is laws, the constitution. This is what controls us to not, become like animals. And when we plunge our country into anarchy, that means it's a state of lawlessness where the constitution doesn't hold. And there was a chant that was going on during the revolution that we would rather be, ruled by the army. No, that is a very, it is a very uninformed kind of, let me say, perspective. Because the people don't really understand how the military governs a country until you go to Uganda, until you see what was happening actually while viewing Baba. They were saying it's viewers, because they don't have time or the patience to wait for you to view your leader. So it is very important for us as the people to first appreciate who Baba was for us. Secondly, appreciate that we have a government. It may not be the best government, but at least we have a government that is actually democratically elected. Okay. Also, the government needs to appreciate the role the people play in any democracy, because it has always been, the majority have their way and the minority also have to have their say. And it's incumbent upon the president as the leader of government to make sure he listens to every dissenting voice, not silence it. Listen to everybody. We are here as leaders to serve, and we are not there to serve our own personal interest. Always the interest of the people should always come first. If any leader puts the interest of the people first, you will see the kind of, following that Baba had, because Baba listened to the people. He may have had those, those high-level leaders behind him that he consulted, but at the end of the day, he always had time to go down to Mwananchi, talk about the vitendawilis and whatnot, to consult. What do I do? And you remember Baba doing consultations before joining government. Maybe people might think that was just rubber stamping, but I have had the privilege of working with Baba during the Azimio campaigns. I was part of the leadership, the youth leadership that led the Azimio La Vijana Western Tour, Nyanza Tour. He was a man that was very determined to, listen to his people, the youth. He was very, 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 he was real with it. He wasn't faking it. You can tell when a leader is just there because he needs the youth vote. But Baba has always, and the irony of it actually, Baba has always been with the hustlers from day one. Baba has always had the hustlers. Even how Baba played his politics, it was the hustlers politics. But how the narrative shifted and Baba became a dynasty, that has always been my assessment of things. Because if there's somebody who was there for the youth, for the hustlers, it has always been Baba. Look at the gatherings Baba had. 80% youth, 80% hustlers. But all these other leaders, because Baba is the only person who could have organized organic meetings without having to mobilize. And these are young people. These other meetings were funded. And the who's and who's, they invite not everybody. You had to have an invitation to go, maybe to state lodges, to, maybe to Kasarani, for these party forums. But for Baba, it was an open forum for everyone. So those are some of the things that we are going to miss as a country. But we need to know we stand to lose a lot, and also the government stands to lose. So at the end of the day, we need to come together and and agree that this is our country. We all want it to prosper, because if the country prospers, there will be more opportunities for leadership. If the country prospers, there will be more opportunities for employment for our people, and to do business, a conducive environment for business. And that is what we want for our country. Yes.
And talking about the casualties, it It has been said when Baba died, he died with a lot of, politicians in terms of their political careers.
Yes.
And those that have been left orphans, those that depended on Baba for, influence. And now it's a clean slate when it comes to the political battleground. It's against your record as a leader and what you can offer to the people. And there is a general perception that a lot of members of parliament and some even governors might be heading now to the real one term that people say on the ground. Well, these the so-called political orphans. Do you think, or do you foresee a scenario where it will be a disaster, probably maybe in the next general election, the 2027 election, with now Baba out and now they will have to stand on their own shadows?
Definitely, it's going to be one, because what is happening now is a transition from what we call the individualistic kind of politics to the idealistic kind of politics, where you're now weighed based on your ideas, not individual you're seen around with. And a lot of people hanged around Baba's court. They were only elected on the basis of Baba. They are friends of Baba. They are soldiers for Baba. And now, absent Baba, they had 100% confidence, 0% content. Now they need to make sure that they have 100% content vis-a-vis the 100% confidence they had. And it's going to be a hard task for most of them, because they do not know what to say apart from Baba or fighting for Baba. And it's going to be catastrophic for most of them. And they can already see it. And these are the kind of people who are quick to say they're in government, because their politics is just to clutch on something. They want to clutch on something, and whether or not their people want it, they just need survival, and they go where they are provided shade. And what I foresee is a very difficult moment for ODM, because I want you to understand that vultures have started, cycling. The same thing happened in Jubilee when Uhuru exited. He was still alive, he's still alive, but there were the vultures that were trying to steal Jubilee while he was still there as the patron. Now we have vultures trying to infiltrate ODM, and Baba is nowhere. The patron now is nowhere to protect ODM. So ODM needs to be really firm and do what is right for the people, not for the leaders. Because it is one thing to say where the leaders of ODM are and where the people are. But if you listen to the people, if you listen to the leaders they were chanting for, you would tell where the people are. Yes.
And talking about cracks in ODM, and this was a clear testament during the burial of Raila Odinga, where we saw some of the leaders boldly saying that Baba showed us the way, and this is where we want to go. Another faction say that Baba was clear, and this is the message. When you look at these cracks, does it probably indicate to a cracks that is already now, emerging clearly, and in fact it's unfolding in the very eyes of the public? Do you think ODM will hold and even stand test of time?
The leadership of ODM will decide that, because Baba was very proverbial. He liked to be unpredictable, and sometimes he may say this today, tomorrow he will say this. But it was incumbent upon everybody to try and understand Baba, from Baba's perspective, not their perspective, because I think it is the proverbial elephant where a group of blind people were taken to where the elephant was, and they were told, now this is the elephant. I want you to touch the elephant. Now, from what you touch, tell me what the elephant looks like. And the person who touched the leg says, the elephant is just like a tree. It's a long tree. The person maybe who held the stomach says, no, it is like a rock, a hard rock. The person who held the trunk, had a different opinion. So I think most people interpret Baba according to what they want, or the part of Baba they knew. Maybe most of them want a narrative that suits them, because maybe they feel if we remain in government, at least we will have protection for the few months we are in office. Others say they're ambitious. They wanted to self-determine. They are saying, actually it's time for youth leadership. Those are the kind of people who want ODM to front a candidate. And that's why now you see the narrative is changing. And that's why I'm saying ODM needs to be very, very careful. Because now you have the governor of Kisii saying the president was a former member of ODM. If ODM must front a candidate, they can bring in the president to be their candidate.
And of course, talking about the president, the sudden interest of President William Ruto to ODM party, does it sound a little bit peculiar to you?
I think what the president is very good in saving himself, and he has realized that the mountain is gone, and he needs an equalizer for that, because now Baba was the equalizer. So now he's trying now to get his region to equalize for him, because he may have lost the mountain, but he has gained the coast, because coastal region was largely let me call it a Kalonzo Musyoka region, because we have so many Easterners there. The Johos and the Kingis and the Mvurias may have a say, but you need to understand that region is largely Kamba if you do the demographics of it. So the president was smart, being the person I'm telling you who tries to find an equilibrium. He realized I really need the coast, and that is why he gave CS Mvuria from Kwale. He made him CS for sports. He brought in the Kilifi governor, former governor Amason Kingi, is now the Senate Speaker, and he has brought in Joho. Now he has the coast full circle. So he no longer needed Baba for that. He tried to ensure that at least if Baba now jumps ship, I will have these people. Then I want you to remember that northeastern Kenya was largely an Azimio zone. The transition only happened after elections, and that's why we have always had an argument of who the majority actually is, because the constitution says the majority should be the majority party before elections, not after. The majority that we have today happened after elections, when UDM and other parties from Northeastern joined the government. So prior to that, they were Azimio members, and now they went to the government. So he has gained Northeastern, he has gained the coast. So he needs Nyanza to ensure a second term. So he is going to use all means possible to court ODM, because ODM is the ticket to Western, ODM is the ticket to Nyanza. Yes.
All right, so I'm afraid that is where we'll have to leave it for today. Many thanks for making time, Eston Maina, political analyst. Your time is always appreciated. So I don't know if you are taking a very short break, and we'll be back with more.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mukwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu mwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia.
They find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated.
Inclusive setups.
By providing the right facilities.
First tumeanza.
All right. Now it's time for the latest in the world of sports. Now the family of former Kenya athlete Ezekia Nyamao is now asking for financial assistance to pay for pending medical bills that the family owes the hospital after his untimely demise from cancer. Nyamao, who was one of the athletes who put Kenya on the world map, died at the age of 88 in a hospital in Nakuru County while receiving treatment.
was part of Kenya's historic. The late Hezekiah Nyamao, who is from Kisii County, was part of Kenya's historic 4x400 meters relay team that won gold at the 1972 Munich Olympics and silver at the 1968 Mexico City Community Games. But behind the success, his older life was overwhelmed by health and financial challenges. For more than a decade, he has been living with cancer, a condition that weakly detached his family financially. The family of the deceased is now asking for help to pay the medical bills, estimated at 700,000 shillings, with the family also calling on the government and Kenyans to help bury the hero with national honor.
My grandpa was a hero who brought a gold to Kenya with his group, a record that has never been broken since 1972. Not only in Kenya, but in the entire Africa. During his sickness time, we tried to reach the government, our leaders, the governor of Kisii County, but nobody turned out to help. We are looking forward for Mashujaa Day. And most of the time during Mashujaa's Day, they used to call them so that they can go celebrate those brought hero to Kenya. But it is unfortunate when we needed so help from the government, from the county, nobody came out. I have a plea. Honor my grandfather by giving him a decent send-off. Actually, a state send-off.
The family also states that Nyamao's wife is suffering from a situation increasing their financial challenges.
Tunaomba wa serikali au mtu yoyote yule iko na uwezo atusaidie, kwa sababu mzee wakati alikuwa anaonjeka pesa ilitumika mingi sana, na hata hapa nyumbani na pahali yeye iko pahali amerara huko Nakuru. Kwa hiyo pesa ni mingi. Tunaomba yoyote na wale wamekuja hapa watusaidie, ndio hii masisi yake endelee vizuri.
Hezekiah Nyamao's family is now hoping that the nation will come together for this athlete who put Kenya on the world map with his gold medals, not just in words but also in action. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
Now to some football matters. Now the national women football team, Harambee Starlets, have intensified their training ahead of Friday's crucial Women Africa Cup of Nations qualifier encounter against Gambia at the Nyayo National Stadium from 4 p.m. East African time. The Beldin Odemba-led charge have exuded confidence of a positive outcome in front of home crowd, with the winner of both legs advancing to the next round of WAFCON qualifiers. Now, the third round of the UEFA Champions League group stages continue tonight across Europe, with the Gunners set to lock horns with Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid at the Emirates Stadium in London, marking their sixth meeting in the competition. Bayern Leverkusen will have a tough task containing defending champions Paris Saint-Germain in what will be their fourth encounter. Meanwhile, Barcelona will host Olympiacos at Camp Nou for the fifth time, having won all of their previous 4 meetings, while Real Madrid on their part will take on Juventus at the Santiago Bernabeu. All matches will kick off at 10 p.m. East African time. Right, it's a wrap. Many thanks for the men and women behind the scene and for all those who made this production a success. A big salute to you all. Do have a lovely night. My good name is Auma Evans. Until next time, God bless.